While the Toyoma clan was still out there plotting their raids and revenge, the village began to grow and even prosper. Soon more would come, and it would be time for the 5 samurai to expand their horizons and grow as a society, perhaps even evolve their ideas and ideology. What would they become? Would they become champions of the world or dominate all others around them? We shall see. We shall see. The 5 samurai rest. Thorfinn, Rezencrow, Gray, Tommy, and Marshall have had a hard-fought few days. In Rimworld terms, it'd probably be even a month, or maybe even 2. But they've been hard-fought against the Toyoma clan, defending against their many raids. But they had persevered and survived, and now even had time to flourish, work on their crops, build up their society, and hopefully maybe even enjoy the fruits of their many labors. An opportunity had arisen for the samurai to strike at their enemies. A camp had been set up nearby with vital supplies they could utilize. It was decided that Gray and Marshall would go out and do battle with their enemies and return back what they could. They rode quickly, found position, and struck at the enemies. It'd be a vicious battle and a true test for our samurai. They lined up their shots. Gray charged in, sword at the ready. Marshall taking aim with her daikyu. It was a vicious battle. Blood was spilled. But so far, our samurai were victorious. There was still one more assailant, charging at them like a madman. Or maybe just kind of hanging back. But either way, this would be a pretty easy raid, but it was still pretty dangerous. This would be the first test of them going out into the world and trying to gather supplies by sword of arms. Perhaps it was a little bit like the Toyoma clan, but maybe raiding and battle was in their blood. They were samurai after all. And this is part of the code of Bushido, to win things by the strength of your arms. Perhaps not the way the Bushido may have been back in the past, but we are in the far future. They aren't exactly the samurai that we know from the past as it is. With all enemies pacified, they were able to gather what supplies they could and return home. It was a good day and a good raid. Back at the village, things were going as you could expect. The droid that Rezencrow had commanded and was building a quarry, while our raiders had just returned from their grand adventure and returned with supplies and victory. The wall was extended to defend their home, and this would give them much more territory to use to build homes and gather more supplies safely. Safety was a relative term, as the Zataro shogunate arrived to take what they had built up. One even rode a buffalo into battle. She must have been a brave, brave soul. But our samurai united themselves and gathered at the entrance, ready to do battle with them once more. Of course, poor Tommy had to rush back inside before she was run down by the rampaging buffalo samurai trying to get at her. Thankfully, she was able to get inside without getting rammed through. The buffalo rider had to cross our defenses, and she got taken down. Thankfully, our defenses were pretty strong, but that buffalo just tore through a bunch of our stuff, as you can see here. Yeah, but hey, we'd have some good buffalo meat and some good buffalo wool. Oh, another samurai down. The Sultana Shogunate was not going to do any better than the Toyoma clan. And while there's still one remaining, he charged in and boom, done. And that took care of that raid. Well, there was one more left, but they weren't going to be much of a threat. Yeah. Just as all the others had before them, we had dispatched them quite easily. And so we began disposing of the bodies, taking care of the goods, and doing repairs. Of course, we forgot one out there, but thankfully, Thorfinn finished them off before they could do any real damage. Yeah, sometimes I forget that there are other assailants out there. But our heroes are, well, I use the term hero lightly, but our samurai dispatched them all the same. So the battle was ended. Things were, it was just time for cleanup. Building the traps again, bringing the corpses to the good old mass grave, and whatever survivors we felt might be useful, we tried to bring into the prison area. But thankfully, or not so thankfully, we had Fukumi there to help. Apparently, I don't know what she's doing there, but she's helping out good old Resin Crow, who's trying to save this poor. Well, not really poor. This is a vicious samurai who tried to kill us. We're trying to save their life, but they might be of use to us. But I don't think it's going to go too well. And meanwhile, we also have some other people trying to work on them. But Gray does their best to try and keep them alive. But sadly, the other samurai won't make it, and we'll just have to get rid of her for now. That's fine. Just bury her. She lived by the sword, and she died by the sword. That's what you can expect when you're a samurai. There's no better death than death, I guess, in battle or from battle. And the other samurai, well, maybe they'll make it. If they do, then they'll be good. And as you can see, one of our prisoners is gone, which is Midorikawa. Midorikawa had already been turned into a peasant. The game calls them slaves. We call them peasants. They're not slaves. They're peasants. But the game, doesn't have that kind of categorization. So for now, he's considered a slave. But he's living a good life now as our good old peasant. And as you can see, here are some of our samurai. We got Resin Crow here, and there's Thorfinn looking quite magnificent. Good old Thorfinn, good job. We got Gray. Gray's fierce, so Gray gets a fierce look. There you go. Tommy, of course, is our psychic, so you can see the glowing power in her eyes. And of course, there's Marshall. Marshall's got a pretty slick haircut, so she's looking pretty good. And our newest samurai, we were able to get Fukumi to join us. Fukumi is quite the samurai, but I kind of did not realize that also Fukumi is a underground. Is she an undergrounder? Yeah, she's an undergrounder, and it's gonna be a while before I realize that. So I have her doing all kinds of outdoor tasks, which make her go almost crazy. But eventually, we decide to have her just do indoor tasks and save her sanity. But that's in the future. For now, we now have 6 samurai. 6 samurai and 1 peasant. Fukumi was a good new addition. She'll become one of our major medics, and she's also a pretty good archer, so I like her. She does a lot of, she takes a lot of the work off of Resin Crow, so that Resin Crow has more time to do more crafting duties, less time just spending just cooking, and just kind of gives Resin Crow more time to do other things. Fukumi gets right down to it and starts doing her work. So things are going well for us. Things are going well. Also, just a pro tip, if you do have a peasant or a slave, make sure they don't have weapons. That really does not help their whatever it is, oppression, to keep them from doing bad things to your people. Midorikawa will, spoiler, will learn that the hard way later on. But, oh, and I should note that I think Midorikawa and Fukumi were in love. Apparently, they were in jail for so long that they fell in love. Aww. So here we have Tommy getting ready to disable. We're going into the Ancient Danger, and Tommy is going in there now, disabling the wall. Boom! Yeah, we got it. I think there are mechanoids inside, and they don't really come at us for a second, or I didn't realize it, so I had Tommy kind of move back to get ready to shoot one, and this does not go well for Tommy at all. I'm sorry, Tommy. This is gonna hurt a little bit. Oh, got some aloe for that burn, because yeah, that's not good. That's not good at all. That isn't good. You're on fire, Tommy. You're on fire. Not in a good way. So she rolls to put that out. That she's I have her move back to get in position, and thankfully Tommy's not too hurt. A little bit hurt, singed. That's gonna sting. But one of the mechanoids, it's gonna go out. We've created our little pathway to trap the mechanoid, and boom, goes to 1, and I think it only makes it to 2, maybe 3. Yep, no, it's done. But the other mechanoid just seems pretty chill, so I send Tommy back in, because this is, glutton for punishment. Oh, nope, it's coming now. So Tommy gets back in position, and we're going to let it try to go over the traps, and hopefully we won't even have to fight it, because that'd be great. Samurai, although samurai do like battle, they also like to do things smartly. And yes, it's taken out by the trap. So now we can go in and do what we want. We're not going to open the sarcophagi yet because I want to make sure that we've got our traps reset and we're ready to go. Plus, people in those sarcophagi may have guns. And while I am confident that our katana and daikyu, our bows, will be more than enough for them, there's like, 5 caskets in there? Could potentially be 5 guns trained at us. And I'd rather even the odds. So I've got a plan that I'm going to put into place. At first, we got to get some of these traps set back up and get everything going. So for now, we're just going to clear out everything we can, haul some stuff back, seal this back up, and build our traps again. And we'll come back another day to deal with the sarcophagi another time. But for now, we're going to help the Imperials out. So the Imperials are having some trouble, and they crash land near our village. We have 4 warriors. I think they're Janissaries. I'm not really familiar with the Imperial designations, but hey, they're soldiers to me. Oh! But we got some raiders who are ready to rip them apart. And although the Imperials have guns, there are quite a few of them that are coming at them with axes and spears and everything else. So I'm bringing down our samurai once more. We're going to take a position near the beach. This bloody battle on the beach. And now that we have our 5 samurai, plus Resin Crow, who's a samurai. She's strong at heart, but she's back at home. She doesn't need to be out here. She runs things from back in the village. And so the Imperials have engaged now these rampaging knights on the beach, and they'll sands be stained with blood for sure. I move our people forward, trying to get in position here, and whatever armor they have, it's quite durable. It definitely can take a beating. I've got one of our people moving in. Grey gets in there. Oh yeah, she got stunned right away. That wasn't good, but she does take one down. And I have her right away go ahead and just capture this person, strip them, and then capture him. Just go ahead and capture this guy. Get out of here. And so she's going to move back. Plus she's already been wounded, so I didn't want her to put any more harm's way. And so while they're moving back, the soldiers are focusing now. The Imperial envoy just seems to be hanging out. They don't seem to be too perturbed by what's going on in their burqa. But our people are just engaged on the beach, taking pot shots with their bows. I've got... it looks like I think most of them are taken out by this point. And there's just one dude left, but whatever armor he's got, it is beefy. Because he's just taking shots from automatic weapons fire, bows, and everything else, and he just stays up. So he is the toughest raider I've ever seen. Like, you can see all the corpses there on the beach, but he is still going. He's not stopping at all. Although he does eventually fall. And I send someone over there to strip him down, because whatever armor he's got, we might want to pick that up for ourselves. And, we'll just, we won't worry about him. I mean, we don't really have a lot of room at the ye old village, and it's not like we're running a daycare anyway, so. The Imperials bandage themselves up, they take off, and we get a little bit of honor for what we've done. We're doing good stuff. And then, of course, Midorikawa decides that at this moment he's going to rebel against us. And peasants don't rebel. That's just, you don't do that. I'm sorry, peasants. You may think that you are people, but you're a glorified not person. So our samurai gather, and they're going to teach Midorikawa a lesson. Now, I want to say with full disclosure, I didn't know at this time that Midorikawa and Fukumi had become very close. And yeah, it doesn't end well for Midorikawa. Although he does stay up for a little bit, but no. He does not do well. So, we get another raid from the Dynasty of Yunnan. They're trying to, they're going to prepare for a bit. They have a war donkey, and apparently war donkeys are quite dangerous. But they're going to hang out for a bit, so we're not too worried about them. There's a rainstorm going on. We just assemble at our normal point, because these defenses have proven to be quite beefy over all the raids. Keep our people safe. I don't even know if I'd only bring out, like, not even all of them. Because I think at this point, Gray was sick with the plague. Or does get sick. Maybe they're not sick yet. No, that's later. Oh, spoilers. Someone gets sick with the plague. Who will get sick with the plague? You'll have to wait and find out. It's probably Gray, but I might be wrong. Either way, they assemble, and they're just hanging out. Oh, that's what it was. Gray was wounded from the last battle, but she just recovered. Just as this raid starts coming in. And as you can see, they're coming at us. They're coming hard. The war donkey is leading the charge. I respect that. I respect a good war donkey that's willing to lead the charge and get in there. Boom, boom, done. Boom. Oh, that donkey took out so many. So we're going to have to do some battle because it looks like that donkey took out a bunch of traps and the rest of them are going to have to climb over. Ooh, no, that's not good for you. And done. And yeah, we're going to have to do some battle here because there's not that many traps left. And but then they start to retreat. They realize that our traps are probably too much for them, and they run up. And yeah, we don't deal with this. They're gonna try to take our stuff. We're gonna take their lives. That's the samurai code. It's what Musashi would have written in the Five Rings. If they come to take your stuff, you take their life. And of course, we take no prisoners. I don't know if we can take any prisoners from this raid. I don't think, we just finish them off. Probably strip them, finish them off. Typical. Because as much as I would like to, I need more peasants, but also don't have a lot of food. We're going to sort that out. We're going to have to sort out our food situation here because it's kind of getting rough. We do a lot of expansion this episode, but we definitely need to get our food situation under control. But as things are, Gray's got bloodlust on her mind and just chases down this poor dude. Chases down this guy and boom. And again, of course, I didn't realize there was a one straggler left, so Gray's out there by herself doing battle with her Nodachi. And gets a little bit hurt, but not too bad. She takes him down. She's a good fighter. She's one of our better fighters. Takes this person down. I don't know if she finishes him off. I think she does finish him off. But either way, do it, Gray. Do what you need to do. Yes. Samurai. And so that's it. We got them. So life goes on in the village. Good old Gray has to heal up again because she does a lot of fighting for us. A lot of good fighting. Oh, yeah. We got another... This is the thing. I remember this. The psychic suppressor. This is actually not that bad of a mission. We get paid to take out a psychic suppressor and take the heat off of another Imperial ally. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and take that for him. We'll take the hit. Our samurai tough. They head back out. And I have to say, I don't usually do a lot of traveling when I play Rimworld, but this one has gotten me kind of sold on going out into the world and doing stuff. I usually don't. I'm always nervous that I'm going to leave and something's going to happen. And yeah, stuff can happen, but I mean, getting out in the world is always nice. Seeing new territory, sending your people out. So, we get a good little group going. We're going to send them out again. I think we send Marshall. We'll see. I have to look again. It's looking like, I think it's... Who's going out? Who is going out for us? I think it's going to be like Marshall, Tommy, and Gray, probably. All right, it looks like Gray. Looks like Marshall and Fukumi. Yeah, Fukumi. And the rest I leave behind. They'll take some horses and they'll get out there and do the thing. Which is good. Having those horses to start was really nice. And so now they've arrived at the site. And of course, the horses run off to go eat. Because, they're hungry boys and girls. While our samurai set up in the ruins here. Because there are man-hunting cats nearby. And I mean, if you've never had to face man-hunting cats, I tell you what, those are pretty vicious. And I think, yeah, Marshall gets first blood here. Like, boom, right away, right off the bat. Lights up her Daikyu and takes a shot. Definitely hits one. While the rest of the cats are coming in at us. And we try to back up because I don't want to get too surrounded. I should have probably went, like, probably more towards the corner, but I kind of set up here. But they can just climb right over the thing. But thankfully, Gray is just putting in work. Look at her, just chop those things up to bits. And our people are taking them down. Fukumi gets one behind her. And I think they move to the other side so that they can take out the final cat. I mean, you would think cats would be easier to kill, but they are very vicious in Rimworld. Cats are strong. Cats are strong. Gray takes the heat off of good old Marshall. And they can move to the other side and take out the cat. And that's that. That is the danger dealt with here. Well, now they just got to take out the psychic suppressor. So, she finishes off the final cat. And then they move into the structure. Which is good, because I don't like psychic suppression. I think psychic suppression was probably focused on our women or everyone. Either way, we have a lot of people that are kind of skittish already, especially Thorfinn. Thorfinn is I think he's like neurotic, which I didn't realize. So he's always in a bad mood, no matter. I can't keep him happy for nothing. Like, he is always in a bad mood. He's pretty strong, but he breaks a lot. He's a breaker. So I don't need any additional things to force him to break. So we go ahead and claim everything, and then go in there and take out the psychic suppressor. Get in there, boys. Well, actually, they're all girls. What am I doing? I'm sorry. Don't hurt me, Samurai. Don't hurt me. I'm on your side. So they go rush in. Get in there. Boom. And take it out. So they spend the next few while fighting this thing. And, yeah. Get in there. So, yeah, this is a pretty easy mission. Just beat it all up. Do what you gotta do. Everyone's kind of in a bad mood. Pretty much, yeah, mainly because of psychic suppression. But everyone's kind of in a bad mood anyway. And boom, done. Pack it up. Pack it up, girls. Time to come home. So everything's good here. Everything is good here. Back at the old camp. Everyone's heading back. And they've just got back from the journey. I think Fukumi broke on the way back, so she's just wandering, which is not great, because she's wandering at the edge of the map. So if we had a raid, she'd probably just get destroyed. So I'm kind of worried about that while she's wandering around, and everyone else is trying to get back inside, and just hopefully get back to safety. But it's not so bad. It is not so bad. It's not so bad. It's not so bad. But yeah. So here we got some, I think people wanted something from us. They were like, it's one of those, we want silver. Give us medicine. And they always want like a ridiculous amount sometimes. It's like, no. But we're not bad. So we don't just capture. I know a lot of people are like, I watch people play, they're just like, oh, they want to come in? All right, I will just capture them. We didn't do that because we're good samurai. We're samurai. We don't capture people like that. We got to capture them in battle, just like running and grabbing. I guess we might if we get pressed, but we wouldn't. But for now, we got an acidic smog coming in, which is not great. Not great at all. So I had to create a new zone that's just basically indoors, which is actually really helpful, especially for Fukumi, because I didn't realize at this point that she was an undergrounder. But everyone's pretty much relegated to indoors, so they just run from building to building, which isn't too bad. I mean, I think it kind of sucked for our crops, but thankfully had a decent amount of supplies so we could outlast this, but it was not fun. This was not my idea of a good time. So I'm going ahead and just pretty much adding a bunch of stuff here to the area so that way they'll be safe. And you gotta do what you gotta do. Sadly, our peasant died. Good old Midorikawa did not make it, which is also not helping for Fukumi, because now she's got my lover died, and I don't know how long it takes to go away. I tried to have Thorfinn, help her out, but she absolutely does not like Thorfinn, so it did not work at all. She didn't like that, so. Now they're just kind of wandering around the acidic smog. Well, not wandering around. They're gonna run inside and stay indoors, do indoor activities, and just kind of hopefully wait out this thing. But we got some new lovers, beautiful new lovers. I think it's Gray and it might be Gray and Marshall. I think it is Gray and Marshall. Beautiful new lovers. The first romance to bloom in the village, really. Well, besides Midorikawa and Fukumi, who was doomed from the start because he was a lowly, terrible peasant, and she was a samurai. But, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. And for now, they're just kind of living their life. And of course, you know, because Rimworld is Rimworld, two of our people get the plague, which is good old Marshall, and one of the prisoners. So Marshall is now going to die from the plague. Spoiler, it's not great. So basically, we're just trying to keep her alive while the plague eats at her. And keep her from, we keep her fed. She's still one of our great samurai. We don't want her to go down. And as you can see, yeah, her immunity is quite far behind what the actual plague is, which was not great. Not great at all. Not great at all. But the acidic smog went away, I believe, but she still had the plague. But I think at this point, we had hopefully turned the corner. Yeah, we'd had preached health with her, so she was now going to hopefully start turning the corner. She was still behind, but I think with the preach health and just the good quality of the medicine that we had, it was going to easily start to catch up. So with that, we're going to return back to Operation Ancient Danger, as I'm going to call it, because it's the good name. And as you might be able to see, I've set up some, those little barrels are like flame barrels. They explode when you shoot them. You actually start with them with this scenario, but I never really got a chance to use them just because of the way of our security setup. So I moved some inside there. And what I'm going to do is give these people, whoever in there. Now, they're not always aggressive in the crypto caskets. But I didn't want to chance it, so I had exploded one and it exploded the other. I'm sure it probably killed some, but that's fine. Boom. And yeah, one was aggressive. A couple were aggressive. At least one was aggressive. Maybe the rest were not, but Coyote there is like a 14-year-old ancient soldier from way back in the past who's just going at it with her assault rifle on this fully armored just soldier person. I decided I would just hang back and just let them fight it out. Let them fight. I was like, why even go in there? Why even let her do the thing? So we just hung back because there's no real reason to get involved. I think there was also some bugs, insectoids, but they killed themselves in the trap, so we don't have to worry about that. But she won. The 14-year-old won. I could not believe it. So we stripped the other ancient and we captured her, and Coyote, like a boss, just decides to try to walk home. That is the toughest 14-year-old girl I've ever seen in my life, and I'm not gonna mess with her. I mean, she just sat there and shot at these people and was like, what you got? What you got? Is that it? Yeah. You're not doing nothing. She was kind of badass. I'm not gonna lie. She was pretty tough. I did not expect her to do that at all, but she did. So we brought in the other ones that were allied. Well, not allied, but they weren't aggressive to us. And, we're good people, so we decided to nurse them back to health. Help them out. Bring them into the fold. Some of them didn't make it, but Coyote. I had to watch Coyote because Coyote was a beast. Coyote deserves... If there's any person out of that group that deserves to be samurai, it's just Coyote. So we watched her as she tried to make her way on foot, bleeding out, blood leaving from her many wounds. This 14-year-old determined to get home, trying to make it, waving at these merchants who were like, hey, what's up? And she's like, I'm bleeding to death. I'm like, all right, well, that's cool. And then she collapsed. She could go on no further. She was tough. She had the heart of a samurai. So I sent good old Fukumi to go get her. I was like, Fukumi, go capture. Not capture, rescue. We rescued Coyote. We did not capture her. We rescued Coyote. Coyote deserves better than dying in the forest all alone. So we send good old Fukumi. Fukumi grabs her, brings her back. This is this is maybe the toughest 14-year-old girl I've ever seen in Rimworld. I did not think she would survive. Like, I honestly thought she would just get destroyed by that other person that was fully armored. But no. Coyote was determined. Fukumi's not in a good place, but Fukumi gets her hooked up. Gets her all nice and healed. Doing the best we can because we don't want to lose her. She's a good person. She is a good person. Good quality person. And I think she has what it takes to become another member of the village. If she decides to stay. We won't force her to stay. But it would be nice if she did. It would be nice. And at this point we had built a small little shrine to Amaterasu. So that we could honor her. And we get what samurai had. They clean up in there. And they party it down. They're partying it up. Resin Crow's leading them with a speech. And then afterwards, everyone's dancing. Oh, my God. She's breaking it down. Look at them dance. Dancing the dance of the sun. They're having a good time. Look at them. This is top-tier entertainment right here. You don't understand. You have not. If you haven't been to a samurai sun party, you have not lived. Because right now, these people are having the time of it. And it was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was wonderful. And Coyote decides that she's going to stay, which is exactly what I wanted. And look at her. She's been shot, and she's like, you know what? I'm going to get up. I'm going to get up and get my gun, because that's what I do. And that's what she's doing. She's getting her gun, getting out of there, walking out. I mean, man, look at her go. She will not be without her weapon. That is the samurai code in a nutshell. And I think that's where we'll end it. The samurai have gathered new allies, and they're prepared for the future. A beautiful, beautiful future.